Hello everyone, welcome back to SkyFactory 5. This is episode 15, and this time I'm going to make a dye automation farm that's going to be like 5 times faster than the one I have currently. If you're using a dripstone one like I am, I would recommend upgrading it to a clicker farm, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So starting off, I just build yourself a big platform here and get yourself a series of parts like nice trapdoors just to save some space. 2 buckets of water at least. Some crafter tier 1s, item cables of any sort. I'm just using cyclic, and I know it's kind of shady and sketchy, but I think I can work with it. I use some flukes ME glass cables as well, some nice stylish blocks like compressed cobblestone, some ME storage buses, some ME annihilation planes, and last but not least, get any sort of barrel cauldron looking thing, which should be it. So let me explain how this can even work in the first place. Also get yourself like a piece of dye. So I can eat this apple, get a white dye. Actually, you know what? Oh, also get yourself a orange and brown dye because that creates the sand, and we kind of need that. So with all that, we should be good, and we can start setting this thing up. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is build like the base of the structure. So I'm gonna put down my stylish blocks, some trapdoors. I'm also gonna take the clicker that I was supposed to get. Yeah, make sure you get a clicker, or a click machine I meant. And you're gonna place it a block away from your stylish block. Just like that, facing towards it. Place some more trapdoors down just to save some space, some walking space. Just like that, and there's your first structure for what's gonna create our sand. Obviously, it's not done yet, so we gotta get some water down, just like that. And then you're gonna go to the click machine, set it to like the highest click just to make this as fast as possible. And also, you're gonna put inside of here the dye that you want. So click sneaking, it doesn't actually matter, I don't think. But put your dye in there, brown dye. It only uses one of them, and I mean, it doesn't even use it up. It just requires one of them to be in there. And when it clicks on something that can't be changed in its color, like compressed cobblestone, it doesn't do anything to that, but it only does stuff to the water. But if it were a regular cobblestone, it would have changed colors, and I think it would have wasted the brown dye. I'm not actually sure. Maybe not, I don't know. But you can do the same thing to this one, the orange one. Put the orange dye in there, and it dyes the water instantly. So if I were to grab this out of there, you see, it comes back because there's water here, water there, infinite water, obviously. But the reason why we're doing it this way is because if you were to just have a stone barrel instead, like that, and you just put water in there, and then you tapped it with the dye, look how long that takes. Nobody wants to do this stuff through barrels. Have a clicker click a barrel with dye. Because not only does it waste the dye, and this doesn't, but it takes so long, so we don't want that method. But it really does make me think that there could be a faster way to get the water to come back here, other than waiting that split second for it to just pop back in from the infinite water generators. I don't know if there's a faster way. If there is, I'd really like to know, because we can make this machine a lot faster and a lot smaller because we wouldn't need these infinite sources. But there you go, you got that so far. And then what you're gonna do with this water here is you're gonna put flux cables, not down there, but we're gonna put it down there just because I need a placing spot. You're gonna place flux cables along here, and I am copying somebody else's method. Chosen Lives, I'll put the stream in the description that I watched. And with these flukes ME glass cables, we're gonna also use annihilation planes and the ME storage bus. But first, place down your barrels right above the clickers. I know I said these barrels are slow, but we're using it in a different way. We are transferring the liquid from down there, the brown one and the orange one, into the barrel. And you can do that with these annihilation and storage bus planes, which I don't know why it works this way. Also gotta figure out how to place it there. Okay, there. Annihilation, annihilation. And then storage bus will go on the barrel like that. And it won't go in right away. I think it needs a filter on it. And it also needs to be powered. Get yourself some, I thought I had them. Oh yeah, they're up here. Crystal resonance generators. Get yourself some of these. This is a free power source, and I think it works good enough for this stuff. I think it generates like 20 FE or RF every tick. But there you go. It powers these cables, so they're online now, along with these annihilation planes. And as soon as you take water out of there, it gets replaced instantly. But that one got replaced with orange, and it might do it again. I don't know. Brown. There. So yeah, that's why I said you might need more power, because I don't think it's getting enough. But there's 3. That should be a little bit faster. So the reason why that one filled with orange is because this thing's not actually filtering correctly. You need to go in the storage bus and put in the type of water. that you want to export from there. I want to export brown water into that. So go in here, look up brown water. You got this here and you can just drag it and drop it there. So now only brown's gonna go in there if I picked up the water. And then I try to do the same thing with the orange over here. Storage bus, look up orange water, drag and drop, and there you go. Only orange water is gonna be going in there. Now it's slow. I'm not gonna lie. Probably could be a bit faster. I feel bad for doing this, but I gotta try. I replaced the flukes with cyclic fluid cables. I gotta see if it's faster. Oh my god, it's like, oh my god. How could I ever do applied energistics if this thing's so fast? I know it might lag the server more. I don't care. We're doing it this way. So it's chosen lives, but a bit augmented. So there you go. You got stone barrels with the brown water and the orange water there. And I want to build like another one of these machines because I don't think this will be quite fast enough. We'll build a whole nother setup after I build the first one. So inside the barrels, you can put sand in there and then it will turn into a block of dye. So plop that in there, orange block of dye, plop that in there, brown block of dye, instant. That filled up with water because the brown dye left for some reason. Yeah, it looks like it cleared out. So as you can see, I'm getting, look how fast the blocks are coming in. That's incredibly fast. And by the way, that's just me holding down right click. So it's as fast as I build a block is as fast as I can place it inside of that. So it can go way faster. Maybe I only need one setup, but what we're gonna do is we're going to get a crafter tier 1. I'm gonna build like a cobblestone block there and put it on top. And inside of here, there's a recipe, which I can put the sand one inside of. Brown dye like that and orange dye like that. That's not a recipe, never mind. Orange dye like that and brown dye like that. Okay, yeah, that's sand. So you can put it there, and then we need a way for the orange and brown dye to even get inside of here. So how are we gonna get it? We're gonna get it from this somehow, or itself actually. So do this. Put brown dye here, 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 brown dye here. Orange, 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 brown, 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 orange, 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 and then fill up the last ones with whatever random block. And then click the R here so it remembers what's here. So when it gets taken away, oh, I didn't click it. There, remember. And also change this to int. So when these items get used up, nothing else can go in their place. You have it saved. So if you're trying to input something like compressed cobblestone, it randomly gets input for whatever reason, it's gonna go here. It's not gonna go here. This is only for orange dye. Same thing with everything else. They get their slots saved. So this is gonna craft sand. We also need another recipe to craft the individual dyes. So we need to do a block of orange dye inside of here, and we also need to do a block of brown dye, but that's why I got a bit confused about crafter tier 1. I actually need a crafter tier 2, which isn't even that much more expensive, so let me craft that real quick. Crafter tier 2. Just replace this one entirely. You can always set up new stuff, but get a crafter tier 2, which has 4 recipes instead of 2, so we can do all of this now. Set it up as before. Remember, go to the next one. You're gonna take your block of orange dye, click apply on that, so it saves the recipe, but also click int, then go to your next one, which is brown blocks of dye. Go to int, click apply. So now you got all those recipes, and then I forgot sand. I actually just set it to extract because that can't go back into this stuff. So now everything's set up, give it power, and I can do that with a flux point, which honestly, some people have stuff against flux points, and I don't know why. But there you go. Everything has been turned into the dyes. The orange blocks got consumed immediately because I had more brown in there. So if I put that in there, you can see it's filling up into the input and it stops because there's too much. And that leads us to our next point. Put the item cable right there. Export, export. It only exports the items. So nothing really should have been exported there because it's just water. But we also have to export the sand from here. Give it a jump start by giving this sand, and it should go hog wild. I'm not even touching it. So put more orange in there. It's going up. You can see sand's being created. Seems like it's kind of prioritizing the brown blocks of dye, but I think after that gets filled up, it might go back to orange, and then we'll see a lot of sand being output of here because I don't know what's going on with orange. It should be just as fast. Also, I don't know what's going on down there. Why is the sand like deleting itself? It randomly gets rid of like a whole stack. I don't know. I think it's something to do with how much it holds inside of the item cables here. So Anyways, we're generating a lot of sand now, and I want to put that into like a barrel, but I also need it to stay inside of this machine here so that it can go into these barrels. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how to prioritize this, because if I'm trying to export the sand to other die clickers to make other dies, how am I going to have sand for this to be left over? Maybe I should export it into a sophisticated storage limited barrel, have a bunch of sand there, and then using laser IO, which is what Chosen Live did, I could export sand to everything else, including this. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Let's do it. If you don't know what laser IO is, then don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I'll try to teach it as if I'm new as well, which I am. So first of all, get yourself a laser wrench, it's pretty cheap. Then get yourself like a bunch of these laser nodes. I know they're important, but you need to get it first by getting the laser connector, which is also kind of cheap. You just gotta get these raw logic chips and then smelt them down, but takes a lot of stuff. And you might need an advanced laser connector too, so you craft it like that. I mean, you'll obviously know how to craft it. You have JEI too. And I think that's everything I need except an item card, which I believe helps speed up the process of transferring items. I don't actually know, but I'd get some of those if I were you. Like 4 of them. I don't know, maybe more. And then you're gonna put the laser node above the crafter, for example. You can see that it tells you it's down. And you can put an item card in here, which inserts the items from this, which should be sand. And you can see it coming from down there, or maybe... Oh, okay, so I think I figured it out. You need to take this item card and right click on it and change it to extract mode. And make sure you get the max items you can out of this thing. 8 is what it is without a card overclocker, but if you craft those card overclockers, I think you can go up to 64. Let me craft these things. I got 12 of them, and I can put it inside of there. So 4 is the max you can put in there, and it goes up to, yeah, 64. And you can make the speed 1 every tick, or one transfer every tick. So you can put this thing in here, and it transfers the sand out, and you don't see it happening because there's nowhere for the sand to go. There's not even a place for storage inside of here. This is not where sand goes. This is a node overclocker, which I don't even know what it does. But you can put it there. But now that that's there, and I want to transfer it to somewhere else, I got to get this advanced laser connector and put it above or something, whatever you want. And then with your wrench, you're going to take that, it's already green, and then hook it up to this thing. So you can kind of see it. There's a red laser in between those two things. And now you take another laser node that you should create, put it next to the thing that you want items to go into, like the sand, and put it there. So you're going to take your wrench, you're going to do that, and then do that. Oh, shoot. You need to build stuff that's 8 blocks away from another. I think it saves like speed on the world or something. But how about I put it like here, and I click that, and click that. You got a laser going here, and then we're going to make this dude an inserter. So we already got the cards to say insert on it. But we can put these card overclockers in there, which should insert stuff faster. I don't actually know if they do anything on insert mode, but we'll keep it there. And then we're going to put a chest here with the insert one that has the overclocking things inside of west, because that's where the chest is. So put that there. You're going to see sand flow into there as quick as possible. But even though this is super fast, and you can see the sand flowing in, you can actually see them flowing across the green beam. This isn't keeping up. The orange blocks of dye are being held back, and the brown's just chilling like nothing's even happening. When this chest fills up, it will bounce back, but I'm not sure how this will work in the long run, because we're gonna have a lot more machines for the sand to go to, and I know this is faster than that thing over there, but it's still I don't know how it's going to slow down. Yeah, once this chest got filled up, you can see that the orange blocks of dyes are bouncing back up, except sometimes the sand just randomly disappears. I don't know what's going on. It's probably something to do with cyclic. I don't get it. But that's why I wanted to create another sand machine, because of this. But that filled up really fast. Let's check how fast this other one fills up, though. If I were to remove sand for a minute, hold on. If I removed like 5 stacks, it fills up like one every third second. Definitely not as fast as this one, so that definitely means I'll get dye a lot faster. And also, this one has time for sand to like restock. With this other one, I'm hoping to have that same thing happen because it'll probably send sand to the closest dye clicker that's next to it, and if that takes up all the sand, the other ones won't get any. So I need to have like maybe 3 sand generators just to make sure I don't spend all of my sand immediately. Maybe 4. Let me build something. Okay, I went with 4 of them, so I should be getting a lot of sand from this, obviously. But I think I can send them all by like getting this laser thing to do its thing. Advanced laser connector. We can test this out if this is actually like a portal to over here, because that's 8 blocks away. Like, and we'll see if this laser node can connect to that stuff over there. Let's see. So I'm gonna put in the insert item card, and I am. Okay, so we can have this machine like running in the distance. It doesn't need to be even close to this thing, but I can still get sand from it. And then these machines are gonna work overtime. So perfect, we got our sand. Now we just needed to set up the dye versions of this, which is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you look at this machine and you think simple. That's the only word that pops up, right? So the other dyes, I'm gonna build like 1 of each color. So we're just gonna have like a long straight line of like 8 colors here, 8 colors there, just to make it like symmetric or something. And then if I find that I'm like still getting an excess of sand, then I'll build another side to it for more dye. And then all of those will be lasered over into my crates down here, which are still 0% of the way filled up, because who's filling up 2.1 billion items? Not me. But it would be nice to have more than 300 green dye so I could produce all the uranium for this big bad boy. And I can also get rid of that thing and finally give my base a structure other than this crappy, here's some crate, let me throw that there, some random pedestals, some furnaces, and a giant farm that's so slow that I could probably be faster than it. But let me get one side built and I'll explain how it works. Alright, so I just finished 1/4, or actually rather 1/16 of the entire thing, but it works now. And oh my god, it goes crazy. So just like the sand machine right here where you get water, it goes through the Fluix thing. I put in a filter card to make sure it doesn't accidentally pick up water, because even though this is clicking 20 times a second, sometimes normal water gets through that and it created a lot of clay for me. But now with a filter card, it all works. So I'd recommend doing the same thing here, even though it's not running into that problem yet, but it could in the future. I'm still gaining more sand than I'm losing from these sand machines there, and these 2 things are going crazy. I mean, look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the progress speed between the dyes down there being supported by the old dye farm versus the new dye farm. So we got pink and purple up here, and you can see all the other ones. Look how fast they're moving. They're not even moving. That's how slow they are. Jesus. I'm gonna get a lot of dyes like this, and that'll be very useful. Problem is, I think it lags a bit. You don't see it, but it's different type of lag, not FPS lag. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up the rest and see how it goes. If I end up needing a lot more sand, then I could probably build another sand farm directly above this one. Bad news. This thing right here, it's not keeping up anymore. And the worst part of it is that I've only done another 1/8 of it. So it's only this section complete, and then the rest are still empty, and it's taking up all the sand. I'm thinking I might have to get some sort of other pipe other than cyclic to get me the water that I need at a slower pace, because 4 more of these things wouldn't even support all of them. I need to do like 5 if I'm staying constant. Yeah, that's a bad thing. Let me try figuring something out. Okay, it took me like 50 minutes, but I did fix the problem of this stuff being way too fast. And that might not seem like a bad problem, but I don't want to build 5 of these sand farms to keep up. But now my sand is recuperating a lot faster than these things are creating. And these things by themselves, they're still faster than this farm, even though they're slower than what I had before. But that's what it looks like now. Singularity tanks, fluid data, filter data cards inside of there. if you want to copy this. It's definitely not the same as Chosen Lives, but I'll still put his video in the description because that's where I got influenced of this from. But yeah, let me repeat that for every single one of them. All right, just completed all of them, and it seems to all be working quite well, and it looks like a jewelry store in here with how many lasers I got going, which makes me think if I could have made this more efficient, which... probably. But this works, so I'll walk through what I got here. I got a fluid cable from Cyclic with a filtered data card inside of here for the gray water bucket, and this will change depending on which dye you got there, obviously. And I did that because, like I said before, the water might get here and this might suck up water before it sucks up the colored water. So I recommend doing it with these orange machines too. But it all goes into a singularity tank that holds 32 buckets, so it's not like infinite. And then I got this fluid duct with a servo on it that puts water inside of here. And I'm questioning whether I should upgrade to a super or a turbo servo, because this is kind of slow and I'm still getting like an extra amount of sand here. Makes me think a turbo servo might work better, but this is really fast compared to the old dye farm, which is now gone. I obliterated it. Completely bombed it out of the server, and it's never going to be built again. So that might save some lag. It honestly probably didn't save much. This thing's going to take up a lot of the lag in the server, but hey, it's faster, and we're about to get a lot more materials than usual. So down here, I'm going to tell you right now, I had like 30,000 after like 8 episodes, and now I'm at 250,000. Some of them have 330,000. Jesus. And that's only after like half an episode. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna work on making a better design base off camera, and it's gonna be really nice for the future and how this big reactor can be supported, because I imagine this can create way more than enough green dye and gray dye for the reactor. And I'll actually test that theory now. Can it support the big reactor if I change the GPS card to go into this barrel so it's continuously making uranium? So this will constantly be running. We just got to take a look at this. We're losing 3 like every second, but we're gaining 9 like every second. So yes, my new dye farm can support the 32 by 48 by 32 gigantic passive reactor. And that means we don't need this thing anymore. But I think that's going to do it for this one. So if you enjoyed me making a dye farm like this one, let me know. And if you have any ideas for what I should do next, let me know as well. But like I said, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.